Well, we're still in January, and January is always kind of that, I don't want to say no man's land, but there's very rarely any new releases found within January, which is, on the one hand, a very good thing. It allows me an opportunity to go back through the year and revisit some of those albums that I didn't get a chance to review. And with a lot of top 10s coming out, it's a great opportunity for me to discover new music. And even though there is, one album that I should be reviewing, I have been unfortunately listening to another album quite a bit. I still got a chance to listen to this fantastic album, so let's dive into it. Warm Spaced Blue by... I don't know how to pronounce their name, so I'm going to call them IDV. Much like a lot of the Italian-based prog, I can't pronounce their names, so I usually just amalgamate them, and that's what I do for PFM, and that's what I'm going to do for IDV. And IDV is a fantastic, kind of newer prog band out of Rome that uses a lot of the Italian-based prog. Now, I'm not overly all that familiar with the Italian-based prog. I do have a couple PFM albums, and I do really enjoy them. Overall, I've just never really had the opportunity to get into them, so I love the fact that I'm able to do so here. They're very dark. They have a very similar feel of like an Ingranaggi, kind of like that King Crimson era from, say, the Bible Black era, like the Lark's Tongue in Aspect, or even, say, like the more experimental sides of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I feel like that guitar work is a really good analogy for the songs being found here. Within the Warm Spaced Blue, it definitely borrows a lot from like the Lovecraft, and this is what really drew me to this album. When I first took a look at it, I thought, okay, it looks alright, but I think I might pass it. But then when I saw that the overall suite that is kind of encompassing this album is Call for Cthulhu, I love me some Lovecraftian Cthulhu literature, so seeing that on here definitely emulates that. And I always kind of shy away from bands using Lovecraft or Cthulhu because, in my mind, trying to emanate the sounds of that Lovecraft horror is almost impossible to do. Like, I mean, when you're dealing with such a creature of Cthulhu where his wings are the visual manifestation of nightmares, it's kind of hard to do, but these guys definitely pull it off. They encapture that chaos and that horror. There's only 6 tracks on this album, and 3 of those are the Call for the Cthulhu suite. We have the first one, can't really pronounce it, sorry, which opens up the album, and it opens it up perfectly. I gush with the interplay of all of these personalities. It's dark, it's guttural, and it's very, very moving. I also love the second track, the longest track on this, of Intal. I'm going to butcher most of these pronunciations just to let you know. But that 10-minute of just going all over the place. And the thing that I love about this band is, much like Ingranaggi, they're able to maintain that creepy atmosphere or that like chaos both within the brutal points of the album as well as within the softer points. And it's actually within the softer points that's a little bit more unnerving, and this is definitely found within the internal. The use of the synthesizers and the atmosphere that's going on there, it just provides such a great visual of what I had envisioned like a Cthulhu story to be. And if you want to talk about dark and guttural songs, that third song of Call for Cthulhu, Through the Stars, this is just kind of like a soundscape where it's just a blending of different things, and it's almost like a post-rock or industrial rock, or something that you would hear from either like I know I keep using Scott Walker, but that kind of just really strange blending. And there's a lot of points on this album that really feel like Storm Corrosion, and this is one of those tracks, and then it bleeds into Nada Navia. Again, I can't pronounce this, the 4th track. And this one's a little bit more of a lively track. This one is definitely reminding me of like the Starlets and Bible Black era of the King Crimson, but because it's more of a lively song and a little bit more boppy, it doesn't quite have that same level of darkness on it, but this I think is more of where that title of the Warm Spaced Blue comes through, because it does feel a little bit warmer. fifth track. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. It's that one. This guy is just a fantastic, fun track. It's a little bit more jazzy and a little bit more fun. The warmth that we had from the fourth track, this one is a little bit more bright. It's not quite as warm, but it is a little bit brighter, and I love how the synthesizer is used. I think in conjunction with guitars. Like, I don't exactly know what's creating half of these sounds on this, but it's a lot more jazzy, and it definitely has a little bit more ebb and flow. And so within the last track of Call for the Cthulhu Promise, this provides a really great bow on top of the album. It wraps everything off really, really well, and it does so in kind of revisiting a lot of the different techniques and styles that we found on it. It blends a lot of those warmer tracks within the second side of this, while also including a lot of those jazzy and darker moments. Overall, Warm Space Blue was a great treat, and one that I realized why it was so high on a lot of people's lists of top 10 for this year. I myself would definitely say download this album if you can. It is a fantastic treat, and it's one that if you're craving for music that Ingranaggi had brought to the forefront, or you like a lot of that more of like an Italian flavor within progressive rock, then this is one that you definitely need to check out. So that's about it for me. What did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, let me know by commenting below. And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.